Train tragedy, new information in the Spanish Fork train accident, Republican rumble, presidential contenders exchanged shots Tuesday night in a contentious Vegas showdown. See who came out on top. And building demolition, why you may be seeing some changes in downtown Provo. I'm Angela Santos. And I'm Rachel Schwartz. It's Wednesday, October 19th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
Sorry about those headlines, that was a technical error. The first of the 3 girls who died in the Spanish Fork accident last week was laid to rest this morning. 11 News reporter Jocelyn Langford went to the funeral for Essa Ricker. It must have been really hard for everybody to say goodbye.
Everyone at the funeral was very emotional and stricken with grief. But everyone says Essa Ricker was a great friend to all those around her.
Family, dignitaries, and hundreds of people from the community gathered at the Canyon View LDS Stake Center in Orem. Every parking spot was filled, even on the streets. Jerry Washburn was the mayor of Orem for 11 years, making him the longest serving in the city's history.
Mayor Jerry.
The other 2 girls who died were sisters Kelsey and Savannah Webster. Kelsey died on the scene and Savannah a few days later. Their parents have not yet settled on the details of when the funeral will be.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Sorry, we're having some technical issues here.
Police found a body in Morgan County yesterday that may be a missing Ogden teenage girl. 11 News reporter Julianne Horsley went to North Ogden, where the police say they are still investigating.
A tip led police to the grave. They're questioning if the remains are of missing teen Alexis Rasmussen. Police expected to identify the body yesterday, but it turned out to be more complicated than they expected. Friends and loved ones gathered on the steps at the North Ogden Police Department, waiting to hear of any news regarding their best friend Alexis Rasmussen. Police found a body in Morgan County, and the thought of it being Alexis's brings anxiety to our loved ones. Police are looking into suspects but aren't identifying any. At first, they questioned Eric and Dia Millerberg, who police recently arrested for unrelated drug charges. But to Alexis's loved ones, what's important is to find out if their friends survived.
I love her more than anything, and it just broke my heart to find out that it's really big possibilities that it could be her.
We want to know. It's really hard to sit here and wait and not be able to know where your friend is.
While friends of Alexis waited to hear the latest from police, they shared their favorite memories they had of their missing friend.
Hanging out at the skate park all the time. That's where we all hung out, just hanging out.
We went up to Pineview Dam once, and it was so fun. Like, we went on the swing. They had the tire swing, and it was really fun, and we just spent all day there.
Police are not commenting while they wait for the medical examiner to identify the body. They say they will notify the public when they have more details on the investigation. The medical examiner hasn't identified the body yet, so police won't release any new information today. They say they don't know how long it will take for the coroner to finish up. Janae?
Utah lawmakers are cracking down on stores that still aren't obeying the state's ban on the synthetic drug called Spice. They say some shops are changing the way they make it, claiming the new types are legal. Republican Representative Paul Ray of Clearfield says the law covers the new types because they use the same base chemicals. Ray says he wants tougher penalties on store clerks who don't follow the state's Spice restrictions.
Drivers in Salt Lake County will start driving on the left side of the road at a new interchange. It's all part of the Department of Transportation's plan. It's called a diverging diamond, and as this UDOT animation shows, drivers temporarily cross over to the left as they go across the overpass. UDOT says this design is much cheaper to build and will reduce accidents. The new diamond is at the intersection of Highway 201 and the Bangerter Highway out on the west side. It's the second diverging diamond in the state. The first opened in American Fork last year. Proposed legislation could give struggling Utah students a ticket to private schools. The bill would give qualifying students scholarships for up to $1,000. Lawmakers in favor say the bill helps those who need it most, but those against don't like it because the scholarship donations are tax deductible, which means less taxes will go into public schools.
When 11 News at Noon returns. Fallen leader. NATO confirms rebels found and killed Prime Minister today. We'll tell you who and why the people are celebrating.
And iCongress, how technology is keying you into government affairs. We'll be right back. We're sorry about the technical difficulties earlier. Here's Jocelyn's package.
Family, friends, and students from Diamond Fork Junior High School gathered this morning to say goodbye to a loved one. Family held services this morning for Essa Ricker, known by her friends as Essa Mesa. Her family arrived at the LDS church early so that Essa's friends could pay their respects before the funeral began.
If you were having a bad day, she'd walk right over, just give you a hug, smile at you, tell you jokes.
Classmates remember her always being friendly to others and having a smile that would brighten the room. One girl fondly remembers Essa wearing Converse shoes to school every day and decided the best way to honor her was wearing Converse shoes to her funeral.
Essa was amazing. Just every time she would walk into a room, she'd make you smile, even if you didn't even know her.
To give people closure, everyone was invited to release a balloon at the cemetery after the funeral service. Even those unable to make it to the service were encouraged to pick up a balloon at some point today and release it in memory of Essa.
She was just a really nice person. She really cared about a lot of people. And she meant a lot to her family. And she's gonna be nice.
The other two girls who died were sisters Kelsey and Savannah Webster, and their parents have not yet decided on the date for their funeral. A BYU study shows members of Congress are using technology to target a younger demographic of voters. 11 News reporter Brooke Martin tells us how social media provides direct communication.
Members of Congress are now catching on to the Twitter trend. This makes congressmen less distant from younger voters.
What's so nice about this is we don't have to wait until they vote to see what kind of politician or what kind of representative they are.
The reason more people are using Twitter is because it's free and it's easy to use, allowing direct information from politicians. To sign up, go to twitter.com, create a username and password, and then you can follow anyone who has a Twitter account. As social media continues to grow, politicians will change the way they campaign. The study analyzed 70,000 tweets between congressmen and followers to see which members of Congress would jump on the new technology first.
People getting on Twitter first were those who were young, and often those who were Republican, because the House Republicans made a specific push to encourage members of their caucus to get on Twitter.
One of the main congressional players on Twitter is Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz. Rather than having staff manage his Twitter, Chaffetz mostly sends personal tweets.
With Jason Chaffetz, it's very clear he's doing it himself because he writes things staff would not be authorized to write. He talks about his favorite hamburger joints a lot.
Twitter provides a constant stream of communication, even if it's about food. In Provo, Brooke Martin, 11 News.
2/3 of the members of Congress are now on Twitter. With that many followers, voters can now hold legislators accountable for the promises they make on Twitter.
An important leader is dead as Libyan rebels take over. Protests turned violent over budget cuts in Greece. And Queen Elizabeth makes a visit to the land down under. Here's your look at news from around the world. Several news sources now confirm that Colonel Muammar al-Gaddafi is dead. He was reportedly found hiding in a hole in his hometown of Sirte when rebels took over the city. In Tripoli, car horns blasted as people celebrated in the streets. The acting prime minister expects Libya's government to declare themselves liberated and start the process for a general election in the next 8 months. Tear gas, rock throwing, and fatal injuries are becoming the norm in the streets of Greece. Protesters turned violent in their 2-day strike to let the government know they're angry about the country's debt. The strike is hurting more than just the people. Greece's infrastructure is also suffering, from streets and power lines to municipal garbage pickup. And Queen Elizabeth is touring Australia for the 16th time in what may be her last official visit to the country. The Queen will preside over government ceremonies in Perth as part of her 10-day visit. Reports say that people have a great amount of respect for the Queen. While 34% of the population supports republicanism, most Australians support the monarchy. And that's your look at news from around the world. Lydia?
Still to come on the news at noon, crop circles. It looks like it's right out of a sci-fi flick and it's just down the road. Right on schedule, why this Cardinals fan tends to spend the World Series in the hospital.
Some great sunshine this week, but as we head into the weekend, can we expect more? Your 11 weather when we return.
So I know I've been the one who's been kind of dragging my feet about this weather and this fall, but I think I'm starting to kind of get used to it and kind of liking it. I guess, but there's nothing worse coming around the corner, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's been already a great warmer week. We're just going to see some just great sunshine as we head into this next week at least, especially with winter just right around the corner, of course. Currently outside, we're just looking at these great sunny skies, and we don't even have no clouds outside, so it's really nice for our students as they walk to class, and they don't have to worry about any rain or any snow, of course. Currently outside, it is 50 degrees, so it's pretty chilly, but of course there's no wind speed, really just calm, so at least we don't have to worry about that, at least for today, of course. What to expect for your next couple, or for the day in the afternoon, it's going to heat up just a couple more degrees to 52. It is going to have a sunset about 6:39 p.m., so that means that just in case just as we head into our daylight savings, it is going to come earlier, and just with winter just right around the corner, but it is going to just be sunny all day for you. So for your commute home, of course, you're just going to expect some just sunny skies, and just make sure you wear your sunglasses as you head home to your families. Well, you can across the country, we are seeing just really clear skies over Utah. We are sitting in a high pressure system, so those northern storms that are coming over us are just being blocked by that high pressure. So all of the southwestern part of our state is experiencing just some sunny weather. So for our Utah highs today, we are going to see some sunny skies, and of course those nice 60s and 50s that we've been experiencing all week. So 65 in Logan, 55 in Provo, 63 in Vernal, and of course our friends down in St. George, they're still hitting those 80s and 82 degrees. Now they can expect for the next week just really great 80s, just a couple cloud coverages over Saturday and Sunday, but not too much to worry about, of course. And as they head into Monday, it is going to cool off to 78, so they're just going to drop out of those 80s probably into next week. For the nighttime, though, they're seeing those cooling off just really significantly into the 50s and upper 40s. For northern Utah, you're seeing a little bit different pattern because it is northern Utah, and we are going to see those nice 60s, almost hitting 70 on Friday. Couple cloud coverages on Friday and Saturday. It is going to clear out on Sunday and then come back with some cloud coverages on Monday. At night, you're going to see some nice 40s and some 30s, so make sure you have a jacket when you go outside. So we just have to take advantage of those really sunny skies and just make sure that we just have a light jacket for the rest of the week.
Sounds great. I can go visit those pumpkin patches I've been dying to see.
All right.
Definitely.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks.
Still to come on 11 News at noon. Working it out. Exercise options on campus for even the busiest of students.
And autumn fun. The corn is all harvested, and now the stalks become part of the fall tradition. Stay tuned. Busy BYU students say they don't have time for playing their favorite sports, but the university offers programs that could help them out. 11 News reporter Otavio Souza is live on campus. Otavio, how can students take advantage of these programs?
Campus is where most of the students spend their time, and what I don't know is that BYU offers a lot of facilities free of charge where they can exercise all year long without having to leave the campus. Class projects, homework, papers, and a full-time job takes up most of the day for BYU students, and many feel they don't have enough time to work out. What they don't know is that the university provides different options for students to socialize and to stay in shape.
If it was advertised a lot and I knew people that were doing it, then maybe I would be more actively engaged in playing sports at BYU.
The Student Fitness Center in the Smithfield House is one of the newest facilities and is a good option for those that have a tight schedule.
I come to work out here all the time because it fits right between my schedules and it's free, and I mean the facility is really good. They have everything you need.
The Recreation Department also has an open gym schedule available for 14 sports from swimming to dancing classes. The Director of Student Wellness says that it's good to make exercising a habit, and BYU is trying to help students to just do that.
You've got to learn how to be healthy. You're just not going to take a class that's required, and all of a sudden you're going to leave with lifelong behaviors.
Since the students are on campus all the time, now they can exercise without having to leave the campus. The colder weather shouldn't stop students from getting an exercise. BYU also offers indoor facilities where they can play their sport all year long. On the BYU campus, Otavio Souza, 11 News.
Otavio, how can students check if they're getting enough exercise?
They can stop by at the student wellness office and get a pedometer. With this pedometer, they can track their steps during the day. I've taken 3,000 steps so far, and my goal is to get 10,000 steps until the end of the day. To check out more about student wellness, click on ElevenNEWS.BYU.edu.
No more excuses then. Thanks, Otavio.
The President and First Lady took a few minutes from their schedules to get into the spirit of autumn. They stopped at this pumpkin patch in Virginia to look over the goods, and now they're heading back to the White House with 10 pumpkins ready for carving. The President is on the final leg of his bus tour promoting his jobs creation package. New crop circles popped up in Utah, but they weren't put there by aliens. 11 News reporter Taylor Lansford shows us how people are getting lost in corn and space.
Utah's original corn maze created an out-of-this-world design that has people roaming through space. NASA selected Thanksgiving Point's Corn Belly Maze to honor the U.S. space program and to be a part of Space Farm 7 outreach, which celebrates NASA's achievements in space. Corn Belly's paired up with NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory to highlight the success of robotic exploration in the solar system.
Obviously, the maze is in the design of a rover. So that's, and then the solar system and the sun, so that's sort of honoring space exploration.
NASA is a part of the Corn Maze activities and sent space experts to Utah to educate people about space exploration.
NASA's been here with a booth, and they actually had a replica of a rover that is currently on Mars, which was sort of cool.
This maze is one of 7 in the country chosen by NASA to compete and see who can create the best space-inspired corn maze.
When walking through the corn maze, people can play games to find out where in the solar system they are and answer space trivia questions to know what correct turns to take.
And little kids will see a sign and they're like, oh, we're in Jupiter, or oh, this is Earth, or different things like that. So having the space theme is pretty cool.
In Thanksgiving Point, Taylor Lansford, 11 News.
There are 6 other space-inspired corn mazes around the country, and the public can vote for their favorite online. For that link, click on Taylor's story on our website, 11news.byu.edu. Still to come on 11 News at noon, gut feeling. A couple of Cardinals fans take the birth of the Baseball World Series literally.
The St. Louis Cardinals are on their way to the World Series, but that's after a shaky start this season. One Illinois family says their newest addition might have been the good luck charm the Cardinals needed. CNN's Heidi Gloss reports.
It might have been opening day right there.
Kelly Lachine and her husband John are no doubt big fans of our hometown team.
My husband always says you can be anything you want to be, but you can't be a Cubs fan.
I mean, he had each of their 3 kids in a Cards cap darn near before they were swaddled.
Of course, they're all 2 sizes too big for their little itty-bitty heads.
But here's what makes this family a bit of an anomaly. You see, Kelly birthed a baby in 2004, 2006, and 11 weeks ago in 2011. All years the Cards have played in the World Series.
Oh yeah, I go to pick up the kids at school and they say, there's the World Series, baby.
Of course, things weren't looking so good back in August, but let's just say Kelly had, well, a gut feeling.
It was a long shot, but we said with our record, who knows? And then it kept getting closer and closer. And then we said, oh my goodness. So we kept calling her a little good luck charm.
As you can imagine, they're constantly pressured to add to their little team.
That's what everyone keeps telling us, like, can you have a baby next year and the next year?
But this is probably the end of the Lachine streak. So we'll just have to wait and see how lucky little Emily is.
2003.
So when was the last time the Cardinals won the World Series?
Well, they won in 2006, but it looks like the good luck charm is kind of wearing off right now.
Maybe they should have named their kids after the players, then we could have got a win. That's 11 News at noon for Thursday, October 20th.
You can join us anytime on our website at 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching. Have a great afternoon.